I'm Agent Ghost and welcome to the archives, and today I'm super excited to bring you a new type of video I've never really done before, which is covering the vendor's weekly reset this Tuesday. But just to set expectations real quick, I'm just testing the water, so to speak, or what have you, and see if I even like doing this type of content. But please leave in the comment section below if you guys are interested or enjoying this type of content, or what other type of content you might want to see, whether that's build video or like this vendor reset videos and what have you. But yeah, please leave a comment down below letting me know if you're also enjoying this content. So without further ado, let's move on to the weekly vendor reset. Now I'm at the White House, so I'm gonna start there and go to the first White House vendor right here. So starting things off, we have the Mozambique special pistol. It's a named pistol, and sorry if I butchered the name for the Mozambique special, but yeah, let's go over them. So starting off with the weapons, we have damage targets out of cover, not bad, and perfect bread fast. So this isn't bad if you want to pick up to max out your expertise or anything like that. And it already has damage targets out of cover, so not bad. The tactical AUG has crit hit damage in the regular attribute and ignited in the talent. Not good. I wouldn't recommend that. The ACRE, it has crit hit damage again in the regular attribute and stabilize. Again, I wouldn't recommend that for the ACRE either. X45 tactical, it has the talent finisher, which is my favorite talent to put on pistols for general use, unless you're mid-maxing for something else or what have you. But that's not bad. That's not too horrible to pick up if you want, and I would just recommend rerolling the rate of fire at regular attribute for damage targets out of cover. The Uzina backpack in the regular attributes health, status effects, and overclock. I wouldn't really recommend that, because unless you're using like a tank status effects thing, then you could mess around with the attributes for that. But yeah, moving on to the other armor. So we went over the weapons. We're now on the armor part. The plasticide steelworks. Oh, well, look at that. Okay, so the plasticide steelworks comes with skill damage, skill haste, and the talent glass cannon. This would actually be pretty beneficial if you wanted to use like a status effects or skill build. You could just roll the skill damage or what have you. This wouldn't be bad to pick up and mess around with. I might even do that to see what builds I can come up with, but yeah, not bad. Now moving on to the mods. So the regular mod offensive system, 7.3% headshot damage. Pick that up if you need headshot mods. For your drone, 8.3% scan range. Your turret, 4.2% burn damage if you need you running a burn fire turret setup, not bad. And for your sticky bomb, 6.4% damage. So pick up any of the mods if you need them. Any weapons, gears, or mods I'd recommend or must-haves. I guess the plasticide steelworks if you're wanting to mess around with a skill build or something like that. But other than that, nothing really too crazy. Nothing from the White House vendor. Hopefully we have better luck at the other vendors. Now let's move on to the countdown vendor.
Hey kid, I'm not your dad.
All right, at the countdown vendor, we have the Dare LMG. So I would recommend, honestly, just using a Kingbreaker. I think that's overall better for the Talent Perfect flatline if you're using it in a Heartbreaker or Pulse style type build. But if you want to pick this up or don't have it for your collection or what have you, expertise-wise, any reason, or if you just want to use it, it's still not bad to mess around with. Definitely pick it up, but re-roll and swap speed and the regular attribute for damage to armor, and then you'd have a perfectly rolled dare. Now for the backpack, the Uzina setup named backpack, core attribute 107,000 armor, 6.4% headshot damage and armor regen. This wouldn't be bad to pick up and just re-roll the headshot damage for hazard protection if you weren't going for more of a tank build or something like that or what have you, or you could do crit hit chance or damage depending on what build you're going for, but not bad. Then the new reliable named LMG, comes with reload speed and weapon handling. If you wanted to like turn this into a beam and whatnot, you could just re-roll the reload speed for damage to armor, and then that perfectly optimized with 30% weapon handling would probably turn this into a pretty accurate LMG. So if you're into that, by all means pick that up. But must-haves or anything like that, Other than expertise or anything, nothing substantial from here. But that's the countdown vendor, and let's get to the clan vendor. Do to the clan vendor. Run, run. Makes me sad I can't run at those parts. Now to the clan vendor. Here we are. We're at the clan vendor. Oh, and as I was saying for the dare, at the countdown vendor, the Kingbreaker. Awesome. And what does it have? Regular attribute, damage targets out of cover. All right, so this is a god tier, perfectly rolled Kingbreaker. Highly recommend picking this up as soon as you can. If you don't have the Kingbreaker already, definitely pick this up. Like I said earlier, I think this is much better than the dare if you're running a Heartbreaker or Pulse build with perfect flatline. And it already comes with damage targets out of cover. So yes, please pick this up if you don't already have it already at the clan vendor. Now we have, so that was the starting thing at the clan vendor. Now for the gear sets, we have Rigger gear bag. It comes with a skill tier and status effects. Tip of the spear, weapon damage, and crit hit chance. You could just roll crit hit damage in the extra mod slot. Wouldn't be bad. The Umbra initiative, I'd probably reroll with maxed out weapon damage at 15%. Not bad. I would probably reroll the regular attribute for like crit hit chance or damage depending on what you need. But again, not bad. PDR, SMG, no, assault rifle, my mistake. The PDR assault rifle, it's all right with the talent nearsighted and 9% magazine size for attribute. I would re-roll that for damage targets out of cover, or it's not good either way you slice it. The PP9 teen SMG, yep. In the regular attribute, 9% headshot damage. Core attributes, 14% SMG and 15.5% crit hit chance. And again, headshot damage, and then in sync. So if you wanted to use this in a skill build with in sync, I would just re-roll the regular attribute headshot damage for damage targets out of cover. Tactical M249 with crit hit, 5% crit hit damage in the regular attribute, and steady hands. Again, if you wanted like a beam style LMG, this could work decently with steady hand, and you re-roll damage to armor and the regular attribute. But other than that, meh. Okay, Walker Harris mask, one of my favorite mask pieces just because of the brand bonus of plus 5% weapon damage. Core attribute, 11.8% weapon damage, pretty good. 8.5% hazard protection, and 10.2% crit hit damage in the regular attributes. I would definitely recommend picking this up and just re-roll the hazard protection for crit hit chance, and then boom, you got a insane damage Walker Harris mask for any damage style build. The 9-3R again has finisher, so I would just re-roll damage targets on the regular attribute, damage targets out of cover for the regular attribute, and there you go. That's a decent pistol to try out and use in the meantime. So yeah, 9-3R, decent. Bravos, non-named knee guards. If you're doing kind of a tank damage hybrid, you could re-roll the weapon handling on it for crit hit damage. That wouldn't be bad. Providence defense, headshot with crit hit damage. You could with tamper proof, the talent tamper proof and repair skills. I wouldn't recommend this. There's much better Providence defense chest pieces you can just farm for like headshot builds and stuff. And now that was the gear. Now we're on to the mods. So 8.9% bleed resistance, 6.6% cone size for your pulse ability, 4.4% duration for your hive, and 4.5 for the seeker mine damage. Seeker mine skill, 4.5% extra damage. So must-haves are what I'd recommend. I would recommend, and must-haves would be the Walker Harris mask. Definitely pick that up and reroll the hazard protection for crit hit chance. And indefinitely the Kingbreaker. Please pick that up if you don't have it. This is already a god roll, so just 15,580 credits. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's just absolutely amazing. Now, from the White House, we're going to go to the Dark Zone, or the theater. Let's go to the theater first. We'll work our way around clockwise from there. So, to the theater. Here we go.
Looking for something specific?
All right, now starting off with the theater for the weapons, we have stage left. I wouldn't recommend this. I would just recommend using the lefty if you wanted access to the talent perfect sledgehammer. The only reason I'd recommend, especially this one with the low crit hit damage and optimal range, but if you don't have the perfect sledgehammer and you're using, or you don't have the lefty for the perfect sledgehammer, I'd recommend picking this up just to have that. Black market shotgun. Let's see, optimal range. The core attributes are halfway, so and it's all right. M1A CQB, headshot damage, and Sadist with bleed. No, I wouldn't really recommend that. The Solkov Concern gloves. Okay, these are amazing for any SMG run and gun build. Highly recommend them. Yeah, if you are interested in SMGs and run and gun builds, please pick these up. Walker Harris knee pads. With the headshot damage and status effects, no, I really wouldn't recommend these. And then for the mods, so we went over the weapons at the theater vendor and the gear. Now we're off to the mods. Incoming repairs, plus 17% incoming repairs. That is great for a catharsis mask, just as a general rule of thumb. You could mid-max for healing if you're using a healing build for like repair skills or damage, crit hit chance, crit hit damage for a little bit of survivability. But in general, if you just throw on the highest incoming repairs you have mod, it will affect your vicious cycle and make the healing cloud that it produces that much stronger. So I'd recommend that. That's for, yeah, incoming repairs plus 17%. Now for the Seeker Mine, plus 5% skill haste, your shield plus 4% damage bonus per enemy, and for your Firefly, skill 1 max target, and plus 6% health on decoy. So those are the mods. Must-haves, or I'd recommend if you're interested in the SMG style run and gun type builds, I'd highly recommend picking up the Solkov Concern gloves. And if you need perfect sledgehammer and you don't have the lefty, I would recommend stage left. All right, that's the theater vendor. Now let's move on to the DZ Dark Zone East. So just as a general rule or a good tip is don't spawn at the DZ East main entrance. Go to the Dark Zone East Alpha CP. You'll be dealing with 2 loading screens, but you still will actually be quicker, or yeah, be quicker and more efficient getting to the vendor over
incoming Dark Zone drop.
The other. Oh, I didn't have a. Normally there's another loading screen, but one less. I'll take it. It's even quicker. But even with that second loading screen when you load in, it will be quicker to just do this because you'd be running from all the way over there.
Access granted.
So, at the Dark Zone East vendor, we have the Commando. With reload speed and perfectly naked. No, I wouldn't really recommend it. Also, before we get into it, quick disclaimer. So at the Dark Zone vendors, you can only, you have to spend your Dark Zone resources is what's called. That's the currency you have to use. And if you hit start from inventory, go over to resources and go down to like the nuclear radiation hazard symbol, that's where you can see how many you have. I have 256, and you can get these from going into the Dark Zone and dismantling loot that you find and extracting them. You still have to extract the Dark Zone resources, or there are boxes scattered throughout the Dark Zone that will give them to you when you open the boxes. So those are the main ways that I think of how you get rid of the Dark Zone, or get Dark Zone resources for the vendor. Just wanted a quick disclaimer on that's how it works. So starting off with the weapon, we have the Commando, and I wouldn't really recommend it just because it's not a Dark Zone exclusive, and I really recommend getting Dark Zone exclusives from the vendors. The Covert SCRS, it comes with crit hit damage and Optimus. You could pick this up and re-roll it for damage targets out of cover in the regular attribute, but again, I would save your resources if you have them, your Dark Zone resources, and just farm for what we've gone over so far at, from the Dark Zone East on Countdown. Black Market M60 LMG, health damage in the regular attribute, and fast hands in the talent. This isn't bad, but again, I would save your resources. Aces and 8s, 10% weapon damage in the core attribute, and 8.1% headshot damage in the regular attribute. True Patriot, 127,000 armor in the core attribute, and the regular attribute 4,000 plus armor regen. Okay, again, not terrible, but would save it. Now off of the gear set to the regular gear, the Xena mask, 130,000 armor, 6% weapon handling, 10% skill haste. Not bad. Richer and Kaiser, you have a skill tier in the core attribute, 7.4% skill damage, and 8.3% status effects. So it wouldn't be bad for a skill build or status effect build, but with the incoming repairs, actually that brand bonus, they're much better out there, so wouldn't recommend getting that. Now moving on from the gear to the mods, 8.5% skill duration. For your chem launcher, 4.1% damage. Hive, 4% range. Pulse, 8.6% radius. And your trap, 4.2% duration. So any of those mods, if you need them, pick them up, but I wouldn't really recommend anything from the Dark Zone East. Kind of disappointing, but it happens, not a big deal. Now going to the castle vendor, which I haven't spent any time getting my castle leveled up, really, so it's just default castle. But let's get to the vendor and see if there's any goodies for us. Hopefully there are.
Control point identified.
So, to the castle vendor. Should be right over here. I just skipped through the middle right here, and it's right there. Alright. And now we're at the castle vendor. So, the Tabula Rasa, not bad LMG, I mean. This comes with plus 7% crit hit damage, and the talent perfectly steady-handed. So again, you could turn this LMG into kind of a beam-style weapon, just replace the regular attribute for damage to armor, tactical 308, damage targets out of cover, and future perfect. This wouldn't be bad as a placeholder if you're using a one-shot headshot build for marksman rifle. If you don't have like the white death, you could pick this up and replace the talent for determined. Black market RPK 74 steady. It has swap speed 12.3% in the regular attribute, and steady handed. Again, beam LMGs, that is the theme this week in the vendors. Again, if you're interested at all and want to try it out, pick it up. Damage to armor in the regular attribute. Palisade Steelworks. The core attribute 170,000 armor, regular attribute 6.8% hazard protection, and 3,996 armor regen. This would not be bad to pick up for any type of tank build that you're messing with or going with, especially with the armor on kill. Richer and Kaiser again. Still wouldn't pick it up or recommend picking it up. Now moving on from the gear to the mods. 16.4% repair skills, great for healing. 13.6% ensnare health for chem launcher. Plus 4 repair charges for your hive, so great for healing with the repair hive. 8.7% effect duration for pulse, and 4.1% duration mod for your trap. So those are everything. What I'd recommend, not really anything in particularly, unless you saw something you like once again, but yeah, no big recommendations I'd recommend from the castle or must-haves. Okay. Now to the Dark Zone South. All right, let's see. Come on. Fingers crossed, give us some goodies. So far we've had the amazing Kingbreaker, is definitely the one I'd recommend so far out of everything we've seen. Still, for sure to go pick up. And that Walker Harris mask, that was also crazy at the clan vendor. Ooh, all right. Now the apartment SMG. This is one of my favorite SMGs in the entire game for the talent perfectly measured, which you can pause and take a look at it, but that's the main reason why I love it. It handles really well, and it's just a great SMG. Definitely recommend picking this up, but I would re-roll the attribute there for damage targets out of cover. Now, the tactical UMP 45, you get the regular attribute plus 8% crit hit damage, and sadist for bleeding. I wouldn't really recommend that. SOCOM MK16, it has swap speed as well as stabilize. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend that either. Custom PF 45, ignited, and damage to armor. If you want to re-roll that bottom attribute for like finisher with the damage to armor, you could, but again, I would just save your resources, especially to get the apartment SMG or what have you. Aces and 8s, 6.7% weapon damage in the core attribute, and 9.8 status effects. Alright. For the gear set, so we did the weapons, here's the gear set items. 11.3% weapon damage in the core attribute for the Umbra Initiative chest, and 4.7% crit hit chance. Again, not bad, but yeah, I would just roll farm countdown. Hannah U Corporation backpack with a skill tier, 16.1% repair skills, 10.1% skill haste in the regular attribute, and the talent combined arms. This isn't bad for like a heal damage hybrid type thing, but I would just farm count down once again. And then for the final gear piece, so we went over the weapon, the gear set, and the gear pieces. And the final one, we have Overlord Armaments chest piece. And the core attribute 11.4% weapon damage, 10.2% crit hit damage in the regular attribute, and 7.2% explosive damage with Headhunter. I wouldn't really recommend that. 7 point for now going to the mods for the Dark Zone South, 7.4% headshot damage, 2 extra bombs for your drone, 4.1 burn damage for your turret if you're going for a burn DPS build once again, and burn duration for your sticky bomb. All right, that's it from here. Must-haves and recommendations. I'd highly recommend getting the apartment and nothing else. Now going to Dark Zone West. Let's go there. All right, Dark Zone West, main entrance. There we go. Doodly-doo-doo. Doodly-doo. Okay, so the Dark Zone West. And at the Dark Zone West vendor, we have the backup boomstick, another Dark Zone exclusive. So the apartment was a Dark Zone exclusive. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm sorry. If the apartment SMG you can only get from the Dark Zone. Or the Dark Zone vendors, name caches, and conflict caches. This is the only way that you could get that, and as well as this, the backup boomstick. So highly recommend picking this up because, yep, there we go. I thought I saw the corner of my eye has damaged targets out of cover with the talent preservation. So I'd re-roll that for close and personal is what I'd recommend for the backup boomstick. It is a great sidearm to mess around with and have some fun with. So highly recommend getting the backup boomstick. Tactical Super 90, it has damaged targets out of cover once again and pummel up. You could pick this up and get Optimus, but I would save your resources for things like the backup boomstick or Dark Zone exclusives. UC 45 ASP rifle and core attribute 12.8% rifle damage, 10% crit hit damage, and the regular attribute 10% headshot damage. This wouldn't be bad, and it has Optimus. You could re-roll that for determined and whatnot. Or you could re-roll that regular attribute for damage targets out of cover. But yeah, moving on. Negotiator's Dilemma, 11.3% weapon damage, 8.6% status effects. Hot Shot in the gear set, part of Dark Zone West, 10.6% weapon damage and 10.1% crit hit damage. Moving on to the regular gear. So Douglas and Harding gloves, 10.6% weapon damage, 14,000 plus health in the regular attribute, and 5.5% weapon handling. Not bad. Solkov Concern knee pads, great for SMG, but has 11.4% weapon damage, 7.3% headshot damage, and 6% weapon handling. Wouldn't recommend them just because, yeah, it needs crit hit all the way. Moving on to the mods, we have 8.5% pulse resistance mod, +1 cluster mine for your seeker mine, plus 4% damage bonus per enemy for your shield, 5.9% skill haste for your firefly, 6% duration for your decoy. Must-haves and recommendations, I would highly recommend the backup boomstick, and that's pretty much it once again. Now we're going to the campus, and then we'll be out of Washington, D.C. and head to New York to finish up with the final 2 vendors. All right. And we are at the campus vendor. Okay, so we have the Forge, Richer, and Kaiser named holster. It gives us incoming repairs, max 50% or plus 50% shield health, and 8.2% status effects. If you don't have this, recommend just picking it up to have it, but unless you're going for a specific build, very specific themed around it, yeah, I'm not a big deal. M700 tactical marksman rifle. And the regular attribute, 9% magazine size, and the talent naked. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend that. Again, the MG5, so it has crit hit damage and the talent in sync. You could use this in a skill build or status effects build with the talent in sync and just reroll in the regular attribute damage to armor. Wouldn't be bad. Langmo, Explosive resistance, repair skills in the regular attribute, 152,000 armor. This would be okay for a tank build. Well, not really. I wouldn't really recommend it. Douglas and Harding, 7.4% weapon damage, 9.4% hazard protection, and 15.8% repair skills. Again, I wouldn't recommend it. The stats are kind of just all over the place. Now moving on to the mods, 10.2% skill haste, 6.4% burn strength for your chem launcher, 4.2% damage for your hive, 6.4% cone size for your pulse, and 5.9% shock radius for your trap. That's it for the campus vendor. Now let's move on to New York. So New York City map, boom, and boom to Haven. Fast travel. Thank you. Loading, loading, loading.
Safe area detected.
Now going to the New York, first New York vendor, Marco. What's up, Marco?
Hey, wanna make a trade?
Tactical MK16 with, in the regular attribute, 6% crit hit damage. Not, okay, that's alright with Vindictive. If you're using a status effects build and you didn't want to use like the Grudge, for example, this wouldn't be bad. With the 8.7% assault rifle damage, that's a little less than what I would like, but you could always reroll damage targets out of cover in the regular attribute and use Vindictive and whatnot for a status effects build. M700 Carbon with Sledgehammer. Again, I would pick up the stage left if you want Sledgehammer and whatnot. With stability, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. AC-12, oh, with that shotgun damage now, just already, no, I would not recommend it. 10.4% pistol damage, 5% damage to armor, and flatline. This would not be bad if you wanted to pick up for any Heartbreaker build, especially with Kingbreaker and the clan vendor, so recommend picking this up if you want to pair nicely with that. The M1911 doesn't, it's not a bad pistol just in general for its handling and everything, and then you can re-roll the regular attribute for damage targets out of cover as well. You could even pick up two of these so you have one for armor and one to damage targets out of cover. That wouldn't be a bad option as well. The Alps Summit apartment. This isn't bad for healing builds, especially. This wouldn't be bad for like a sniper healing hybrid build with the concussion along with the brand set bonus, and then you already have skill haste. I would just reroll the hazard protection for repair skills, and then this would actually be pretty good for, like I said, a hybrid sniper style build. Now skill haste. Okay, the Brazos knee guards with armor, 124,000 armor in the core attribute, 7.4% headshot damage, and 8.5% hazard protection. This might not be bad for a tank build if you re-roll the headshot for armor regen, but there are much better ones out there as well. So armor pieces with better brand set bonuses, what I mean. Gilligard, like Gilligard wouldn't be bad if it had those stats, but let's see, the stats does have 115,000 armor, 15,000 health, 5.5 weapon handling. I wouldn't really recommend it. Now moving on to the mods, 7% headshot damage, 8.5% bleed resistance, 4.2% shield health for your shield, 4% range for your hive, and 6% duration for your decoy. All right, that's it for Marco. Thank you, Marco. Now let's move on to our the last vendor. But first, everyone knows the drill. You see a cute puppy in any video game, you gotta pet the puppers. You just gotta. Look at him. Look at his cute Will face. Oh, makes me want to pet my puppy in real life. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that after this video. Yes, I am. Oh, you're so adorable. All right, moving on to our final vendor. Thank you for the bark. Okay, to
Hey,
Roy.
agent.
Hey, Roy. So Carbine 7 is the first weapon from Roy. All right. 12.8% assault rifle damage, health damage, swap speed, and nearsighted. With the talent and swap speed, I wouldn't really recommend it. If it had like damage targets out of cover or a better talent, this would be better off, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it. Black Market M60, reload speed, and steady hands. Oh, again, with steady hands on an LMG with reload speed. Well, again, if you're interested in that style, the Black Market M60 is a pretty good LMG just in general, and just slap damage to armor on there in the regular attribute, and then boom. Black Market SAG 12 shotgun. Okay. SASG 12, I mean. Magazine size and pummel. With pummel, you could actually like throw damaged targets out of cover with this and have a decent shotgun. PX4 pistol. Okay, it has 8% magazine size and permutation headshot. I would re-roll that for probably, yeah, not the best pistol. I wouldn't recommend it just with the attribute and talent. Seska backpack. Okay. Concussion headshot. This wouldn't be bad with a sniper build if you wanted to pick this up and reroll the talent for vigilance or crit hit chance over the crit hit damage. But yeah, if you want a sniper build, this wouldn't be bad picking up. Otherwise, there are much better Seska rolls out there. Solkov concern already. No, I wouldn't recommend it with explosive resistance and skill damage and the regular attributes. Electric holster, status effect, skill tier, health, crit hit damage. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this either. You could pick this up if you were going for a damage status effects hybrid. You could reroll the health for crit hit chance and then use the skill tier with the status effects. That wouldn't be bad, but that's about it. And now moving on to the mods, 15.6% repair skills, 8.5% skill duration, plus 4% damage bonus per enemy for your shield, 8.7% radius for your pulse, and 4.1% duration for your trap skill.
Good work.
Thank you, Roy. And that's it for the vendor weekly reset. Everyone, please take care, be safe, have a wonderful rest of your day/night, and bye.